Peace to the family. I'm gonna let you guys roll in. I'm gonna let y'all roll in. First and foremost, for those of you that it means something to, Happy New Year's. Happy New Year's. We could use it as a marker. We don't necessarily have to be entrenched in the whole holiday concept. But what we can do is say this. What we can do, we can say, I'm too smart to be broke, and it costs way too much money to be poor. I love my life, but the doors of suicide. Maybe you ain't catch that. I love my life, but the doors of suicide. Me. You know I gotta start the New Year's off nice and clean. Ain't gonna play no games with you. Ain't gonna pull no punches. Ain't gonna play no games with you. Ain't gonna pull no punches. I'm too smart to be broke. This is what I want you to say. This has to be a mantra, because then you'll live to it. I'm too smart to be broke, and it costs too much money to be poor. Now, I don't do drugs. I just was talking about that. Smoking and all that is a dog. Black people don't got no time for no recreational nothing, especially if you don't like the living situation you in. But me, I'm always afraid that I may compromise the integrity of my mind. I love where I'm at right now. I found alternative ways to approach getting high off of life, to a science. I got it to an actual science. I'm not even speculating about it. The hormones that get produced when you get high, I learned how to access that through certain activity engagements. Like, for instance, when you get a return for money that you invested, you get a high, you get oxytocin, and endorphins are also secreted. Okay? When you donate to other people and you show them love, oxytocin is produced. You get this tingling feeling in your body. You just feel real good about what you just did. So there's different levels to it, different approaches towards getting high. You see, when you're working a job and you're undercompensated, when they don't pay you properly, it deprives you of the high. And you work every day. So if you work every day and every week, you're constantly getting a check that you feel like diminishes the role that you play and it undermines your work ethic, then eventually you start beseeching external means of getting high, because you're being cheated out of the fulfillment that you should get when you work hard and are compensated for it. So that's just an example. Yes, the consultations are $200 an hour, $300 a person. When you make the payment, I send you some questions, you give me the answers, and then in my evaluation, I'll be able to optimize your experience, because then we won't have to go through the questions that I would have, because I would have dealt with that groundwork prior. So I'm working prior to talking to you. By the time I talk to you, I'm ready to get the job done. And I have insight for you, and then you can ask additional questions based on where we at in conversation at that point. So your paperwork shall precede you. It's kind of like court. Real talk. But you know, you can fake astrology to an extent. You can fake numerology to an extent. But after a while, you know, hold on real quick. I gotta take this. I apologize for that, family. For a consultation, yeah. $200 to find out how to make a significant amount of money or get your health right or whatever. Your health is your wealth. It's up to you. If you don't see the value in it, don't complain, don't disagree, don't get upset, don't disrespect. Just move on. Yeah. But I'm too smart to be broke. And it costs too much money to be poor. How about that? It costs way too much money to be poor. You can only fake for so long. You can only fake for so long. Real talk. You can only fake for so long until the time, what happens? Somebody say, yo, I know he lived down the block from me. He really live in the projects. Oh, I know where Polight and them live. His children are over here. This is what they do. They don't live like that. That's what I'm telling you. Oh, okay, I'm renting the cars throughout the year. Well, goddamn, how much money does he have to be renting the same cars throughout the year that you got to put a $2,500 deposit down on and spend $2,000 a day or $3,000 a day? Come on now, stop playing. Stop playing. We need to stop playing, people. We need to stop playing. But yeah, we're going to talk about the theme for today. You know, you can't afford to be in this year still playing games. You can't afford to be in this year still poor. I hope that you guys don't quit on yourselves and you move forward. Move forward. That's the Wraith. And I do own the Ghost as well. But we're going to have a real heart-to-heart. We're about to really build. We're about to build. We're about to build. We're about to build. We're about to have this conversation. About to really talk to you. God damn. About to build. Just hold tight. Just make sure. Coming right now, people. Almost done. Hey, boo. Hey. I caught you.
You're live?
Yeah. You alright? Let me leave. Am I almost ready?
Yeah.
Almost ready. Mommy don't want to show no skin. You gonna cover your feet too?
I'm fine.
Mommy don't want to show no skin.
I don't got no skin showing.
I'm gonna let mommy be to herself. Can't be pulling up on her out of nowhere, huh? No. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, caught your ass again. Bye bye, baby. Hey, baby. Hey, baby. What is that?
She's always taking stuff.
Mommy's always taking pictures.
She's 7 months today.
7-month birthday. Congratulations. It's the 7-month birthday. Congrats. Congratulations. Yeah. She's mad. She want that back. I'm out of here. Okay, people. Where do you want to have this build at? That's the question. See, no matter what people say, people could talk their crazy talk. Watch this. People could talk crazy if they choose. But every year, from one year to the next, I don't take a dive. I don't play games from one year to the next. Today's my 7-month-old's birthday. I just been on the family grind, making it happen. But, you know, I'll take it to another level soon. So what are we talking about here? We're talking about, you know what? Hold on. What are we talking about here? Hold on. Peace to the family. What I'm saying is, we gotta learn to turn the freak up on life. We destined to be royalty. We're kings. We're emperors and we're empresses, right? And we shouldn't settle for less. But if you're listening to people who make you feel like money is evil, if you're listening to people who make you feel like it's not a priority, if you're listening to people that only want to have religious arguments or debates, if you listen to people who know everything about God, but God hasn't blessed them with better living, then that's your first mistake. Thank you, family. That's your first mistake. Oh yeah, I'd be on my mini mansion vibe. So one of the things we was talking about, it costs too much money to be poor. Let's really get this together. Make sure that you share the video. Will you please? Yeah, I gotta get a cut. But I'm telling you, when I'm on my family vibe, I'm chilling. I'm all about the knowledge. But you know, every now and then you gotta show people that from one year to the next, ain't shit changed. Can you see? Oh man, he hopping around from this place to that place. Not same place. I travel a lot. That's a fact. I travel a lot. But those of you that have been walking with me and following me, it's the same thing. It's the same thing. Do I have to line the cars up and show you what it look like? Yeah. So we have the master course. The master course is when I teach you about insurance, real estate tax, and tax deed, but most importantly, our main point of focus is credit restoration. And in that credit restoration, you'll get 33 templates that are PDFs to letters and affidavits that will be sent to credit bureaus and financial institutions alike for the purposes of removing negative items off your report, adding positive items to your report, boosting your credit score, and seeing to it that you get approved for larger lines of credit. Okay? Whether it's your personal loans, business loans, or credit card needs, we help you out with that. If you need a microwave, meaning you want to expedite the process, you ain't really with, I know I could do this and do the footwork, but I not only want to expedite it, but Polight, I want to make sure that I definitely get my hands on it. 1/10 of a million, 6 figures or more upward. If you know your student loans and all that other debt is accumulating past 70,000, it's 80,000, it's over $100,000, then I'm charging you $3K. That's a fact. Microwave, and I'm guaranteeing the results inside of a month and a half. Otherwise, I'll pay you an additional $1,000 back. And you could blow up my spot. You could take the same video where I say I guaranteed you inside of a month and a half, everything would be wiped off. And your life would be made anew. I could say that with that confidence. Okay, so it costs too much money to be poor. Let me show you something. When you get a black card, I don't want to show people my card numbers and all that, but when you get a black card, you get all sorts of textbooks when you get certain types of credit cards. Luxury card, VIP. Ooh, it's interesting. You may need to look at these things. Card luxury. Interesting. Private jet charter services. Wow, it's interesting. Wow, what's this? What's this? Why are these things here? Okay, we're gonna talk about that. Look at my beautiful daughter. She's beautiful. I know. She want to get up out of here. I know. It's done. I'm done. She like to mind her business. She don't like to be all out there like that. It's okay. I got you. I respect it, boo-boo. Okay. yeah, so just like her father on the phone. I love her, yo. I really love her. I love Matt so much. But yeah, so what I'm telling you guys is, I'm just looking at some of the remarks. Make sure you share this video. First of all, we should be happy when we see any of us doing our damn thing. And y'all can keep accrediting the monies I make to Mayweather if you choose, but he's not the only celebrity that I be around that amass a great deal of wealth through their talent. What I'd like to tell you is, he's family. He's just family. I wear his shirt proudly because I'm part of this particular boxing and fitness gym. Negroes is like, yo, I would never wear a man's name on my shirt. But yeah, every time you wear clothes, you have a name, you have a tag on you with somebody's, probably some man's name on it. Like, knock it off. You wear Nikes and whatever shoes, cut it out. You know, 1 minute we not patronizing black people enough, and then when you do, I would never wear a man's name on my chest. It's Mayweather's boxing and fitness. I take my family to the gym, we work out. That's all that is. It's a shirt that I wear when I'm going to work out at his gym. It's just that simple. That's it. That's it. It's not that deep. And I wear it proudly because he's a brother that's very successful, and he was able to create brands outside of his most immediate income. And I salute that. He did it drug-free. He didn't have to abuse no drugs. He shows what happens when you don't abuse drugs and get distracted. So you gotta respect it. You gotta respect it. I'm down with that. I respect it. You feel what I'm saying? Hold on. I'm gonna just move this out your way. That look a little thing. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. You could wear a basketball jersey or football jersey, but you can't wear. I mean, like, stop it. It's a good point, brother. But anyway, so when we was talking about the black card, right? You get a black card because we say, what I say is it costs too much money to be poor. That's what I say. And to help substantiate that, you get a black card, and all of a sudden, buying a flight is cheaper. Booking a hotel room is cheaper. And depending on which black card you got, your gas is cheaper. Buying technology is cheaper. These are the benefits of being wealthy. You pay for less. You pay less for things. And then here it is, your insurance becomes cheaper. Yes, insurance becomes cheaper the more wealthy you are. This is insane how this works. Unless you're just getting some other type of deal. What else? Purchasing a car, buying a house is cheaper. Purchasing a car, buying a house is cheaper. True story. The amount of money they want you to put down, it's a whole lot. When they know you can't afford the house, well, you know, we need to get as much money out of you as possible because we know you're going to default. That's what that's about. When they know you can't afford it, you don't got to pay nothing. Just keep the keys. You can make your first payment on your car next year this time. No, it's okay. Go ahead. Just go. But when you don't, when you're not wealthy, they want you putting 20% down. All sorts of craziness. That's what I'm talking about. That's the wild stuff that I'm talking about. It costs too much money. It keeps moving. It costs too much money to be poor. Yeah, you hit me at brother, POLIJHT45@gmail.com. And as far as the course is concerned, you guys will be getting your PDFs this evening. And I just got a new platform that we're working out where we're uploading all the previous classes and the most current to the platform. So you'll be able to stream it live. Instead of going back to the previous email and clicking the link and open up those attachments, I got something real nice that you'll be able to access. True story. Okay? So it's going to be a beautiful thing. You're going to love the PowerPoints, though. You're going to love the PowerPoints. You're going to love it. You're going to love the information. You done? You out of there? Finish? This girl is funny. The classes are $250, whether it's the entrepreneur course where I teach you about 3 different types of income. Those 3 streams of income are different from the conscious advisory. Nonetheless, those 3 streams of income, I'm going to break it down. And people are going to get upset. I know how people are. I'm going to show you how to make monies. And I'm going to do my best to make sure you don't have to spend money per se. And you're going to be mad at the simplicity of it. But I'm going to give you the technical know-how and understanding so you could get it right. One of them streams of income that I'm going to teach you about in the entrepreneur course is selling property on assignment. Selling houses that you don't have. Selling houses that you don't have the money to buy. So while people out there, yo, I'm saving up this money. I'm saving up this money so I could buy this house so I can flip it. And you got other people selling houses that they don't own. They just go around and find people that are selling properties and then say, hey, if I sell this for you before you can sell it, can I make some money? And then we're going to talk about EMDs, earnest money deposits. We're going to talk about that. Well, right now, classes are $250. It's the New Year's. And like I said, if you want a microwave action, if you want to expedite the process and make sure that you amass at least 6 figures upward, then that's what I'm charging $3,000 for. Money back guaranteed and an extra $1,000 back if I don't get it done for you inside of a month and a half. That's a fact. But as far as the master course where I teach about insurance, real estate, tax lien, tax deed, but the main point of focus being credit restoration, and you get those 33 PDFs that are templates to letters and affidavits that will be sent to credit bureaus and financial institutions alike. All of that, removing negative items off your report, adding positive items to your report, that is $250. You'll do it yourself, it's step by step, and we break down a lot of information. What I would tell you as a prerequisite is to make sure that you set up an email, a new email that's not connected to your other emails. What I will tell you is to get a blowout phone from the drugstore, Dwayne Reed or something like that, Rite Aid. Get one of those phones in the plastic you got cut open. Or get a Varnish.com wireless landline. And then also set up a FedEx or UPS mailbox. It has to be UPS, not USPS, not United States Postal Office. Get a FedEx mailing address in an area that's highly reputable, good school district, low crime rate, and the median income is over $150,000 a year. Then what you're going to do, you're going to make sure that your phone number is connected to that mailing address. And that mailing address, you're going to make sure that the email is connected to that phone number, and that phone number is connected to that mailing address, and that mailing address is connected to that email. When you're dealing with credit reporting, the number 2 things that blows up all your spot and all your history is the phone number and the address. And now the email. So we need an uncompromised email, phone number, and address. And when we look at it, we want to know, oh wow, this person lives or does business in an area where everybody makes over $200,000. Look at the phone number. Okay, the only history this phone number is attached to is the place that's making over $200,000. Look at the email. Well, there's no history of any of our bureaus sending data or any third party sending data to this email. So this is why it's done like this. It's strategic. It's systematic. These are prerequisite steps. These are things that you should do before you encounter me. These are things you can do. Yeah, 3K to 6 or more figures. That's right. These are the things that you should do and can do when you purchase the course, just before purchasing the course, whenever you choose. You're going to have to do it regardless. Okay? That's how it works. That automatically, taking those steps automatically The phone line is going to give you 5 or more points. The new mailing address is going to boost your score up about 30 to 50 points. So you're looking at max about 55 points. At low about 35 points inside of 2-3 months. That's just going to do that. Then I'm going to have you create a fiction or a business, right? You should set up a trust. That's important. But if you don't have the money to set up a trust, then you go to your Secretary of State or go down there, ask them tell them you want to set up a fiction. Get your business identification number for that fiction. Set it up at the bank account when you get your first bank summary. You're going to add that as a positive item to your credit report. That's going to give you about 30 to 50 points as well. So right now we got you possibly over 100 points, right? At the very lowest, we got you at about 70 points, 65. This course is $250 discounted rate. And then the entrepreneur course helps you out because now, once you got your credit lit, you can actually fund the different businesses that I teach you about to levels of grandeur. And that's $250, the entrepreneur course. So one of the things you'll learn in the entrepreneur course, just so you don't think I'm BSing, and I don't mind telling you, there's 2 other things, and it's designed for parents and children, is to sell properties that you didn't pay for. Now, some people call it OPM, other people's money, but the quantitative aspect of that sounds weird. But what I'm talking about idealistically is something called selling property on assignment. So the actual real estate term is called assignment. And the key is to get an earnest money deposit. Why? Because when you get an earnest money deposit at EMD, then that stipulates if that person decides to back out of their arrangement, should they choose to back out of that arrangement, they suffer the consequence of forfeiting the money that they put up as a deposit. And your earnest money deposit is not going to be nothing cheap either. It more likely would be some tens of thousands or something fair in ratio to what the property costs. So that heightens the probability that a person's going to buy the property if they put down an earnest money deposit because they know they're in jeopardy of losing it all if they back out. Doesn't mean they won't. But after I'm invested $10,000, $12,000 in, I may as well do what I can to buy the property. So then you're also going to need what's called a purchase agreement that stipulates that that property won't be sold inside of a time frame that that person needs for it to sell. And the only reason you'll hold that property is because they put down an EMD, which is an earnest money deposit. You'll also need an attorney, a real estate attorney. That will cost you some money. It may not cost you more than $350. You find an attorney whose jurisdiction corresponds or is within the confines of the property that you have on assignment. And you make sure the real estate attorney writes it up for you that this property is on assignment per the person who actually owns the property. Okay, so you get the rules of engagement right. You call a real estate attorney and you tell them, look, I'm selling some property on assignment. This is the name of this party, and I just need you to write up the instrument. Draw up the instrument. Don't write it up yourself. Pay a little bit of money so you can hold an attorney accountable for that conversation. You go back to the person that allows you to sell their property because all you're saying is, hey, I see you got a property for sale. Shit, you know what you might even do? Why not? You might even solicit the property in some instances. Nah, I'm not even going to do that. I'll wait for the cost. But I tell you this. The person who's selling property, you realize they're selling property. You say, hey, I see you selling the property. Would you mind giving me a percentage if I'm able to close the deal before you do? If I bring someone to the table before you are able to bring them to the table? And go, okay, cool. Now you got to get on your bike. I mean, there's a lot of money out here. Another thing you can do, and this is extra. I actually give you more than 3 income streams. This is extra. You can buy hotels and sell them back. Hotel rooms. But there's a better way to do it, and that I'll teach you on the actual course. Why? New Year's just came. The eve of major events costs the most money, not the day of. Because sometimes there's a high probability of people checking out because stuff costs so much money. They check out the day of the event. They do the event and they fly out the same day. The eve of events costs more money. So a hotel that charges $150, $200 a night is likely to charge $1,000, $1,100. Like, the Super Bowl is coming up February 2nd. if you was aware that the Super Bowl was February 2nd, last year when they announced it, on that day you want to purchase the hotel rooms because they're only $200, $300. Or $150 or $80, depending on what type of hotel it is, and you buying it almost 9-10 months out. Right now, if you look up hotels in Miami, Florida, because that's where the Super Bowl is going to take place, those hotel rooms that normally charge $150 are charging $1,200 for February 1st, when the Super Bowl is February 2nd. I still got some rooms available too. I actually got a $7,500 deal at the Mondrian. If you want to buy 4 or 5 days, and that's pretty cheap. Okay, 1-bedroom suite. I have 2 available. But anyway, that's another conversation. New Year's Eve. If you invest in New Year's Eve in Las Vegas, invest in New Year's Eve. If you get word of a special event taking place, that's when you definitely do it. But you never could lose in Las Vegas. New Year's Eve in Las Vegas, they have one of the most elaborate and detailed fireworks schemes with the buildings. The architecture is amazing. Of course, New York Times Square is another one. You invest in hotels right now with your money. And when you invest in hotels right now with your money, if you need direction, I give you direction. That's what the class is about. You'll be able to multiply your money by 4 or 5 minimum. Of course, it takes a year out. But shit, imagine if you bought 6 hotel rooms and you spent, let's say, $2,000. Then you know for sure when the new year come in, you have $12,000 guaranteed. Or in or around $10,000. The very minimum, you're going to have $10,000. You just have to have the money on site. And that's why I do the credit class, so I can get you monies available to you, and then you can do some no-risk investments, because purchasing hotels for New Year's Eve, the day before New Year's, purchasing rooms the day before major sporting events or Tour de France or whatever, you're always going to make 4 or 5 times your money back, maybe 6, depending on how early you purchase. But if you don't got the funds available, then you caught out there. And if you think I'm BSing, look up hotels in Miami right now. They're booked, and look at the prices. And if you think I'm BSing, look at the prices a week or 2 after the Super Bowl. And you'll see what they normally charge. Because they got to go through a plummet. They got to plummet at that point, because everybody then came for that particular energy. And you'll see what I'm saying. But the goal is to purchase it ahead of time. So guess what? When you see me like this at the top of the year, that's because I done made the New Year's money already. Because the first thing that I do when the year begins is make the New Year's money. You feel me? Yo, listen. It's just for fun. It's fun making money. And like I said, endorphins get secreted and oxytocin gets secreted. These are instructions for you to feel excited or to be content and feel fulfilled. Okay, it's the same thing that's produced when women breastfeed their child. It's called the bonding hormone, because nature created a situation where you have an affinity to your child. It makes you more protective and want to take care of them. It makes you more conscientious about their security. And they make you feel so good. You want them to be around you often. Nature created that in women as a safety mechanism so parents take care of their children. Aside from that, you also get oxytocin, which is an instruction to bond, to nurture, to protect, to feel good about yourself. Get this tingling sensation like, man, that feels good. You get that when you use drugs like crack or cocaine. You get that when you find money on the floor. You get that when you get a return on your money. And you get that when you donate to other people. This is a natural way to get high. This is a natural way to get high off of life. When you get paid properly for work you do, it's a natural way to get high off of life. Okay? Now, the hotel thing gets even deeper. But you know, I do that for the course. I got some stuff for you, man. And don't think I'm going to just leave you at just 3 incomes. I'm fly. I'm way more fly than that. I'm more dopamine than that. I don't like saying dope. Per se, I'm on dopamine now. That's what I'm focusing on more. But if you see the things that I teach, you can look it up. The things that I teach, you can look it up. And if you were able to backtrack and see what they was charging for hotels for New Year's Eve, New Year's Day also costs some money. But remember, most people check out the day of the event because the price is so heavy in the first place. So people are last minute, they funds just get together. Yo, I'm gonna go to the Super Bowl. Yo, where we gonna go at? Let 5, 6 of us put our money together and get this room. Damn, the room still costs a lot. So you know what? We'll just leave the day of. You see what I'm saying? But there's ways to get that stuff cheaper. Now you see someone like myself that got a black card or black cards, and now you got a whole nother phenomenon you're dealing with, because now I can get the hotel rooms cheaper and then sell them. I can get them for 30, 40% off, granted. And then if you're yo, listen, I'm gonna save it for the live stream. I'm gonna save that part for the live stream. But you know enough. You can still do something with it now. So those of you who can't afford it, you got ideas. But this is what I'm saying. If a person that's teaching in the community is not taking it to the level where they're giving you stuff that you can take and run with, add value to your life, advance your present disposition and perspective, you're messing up. Yeah, that's what I want you to do, Royal. Check it out. And when you check it out, you're gonna be like, oh shit, there's a way to multiply my money by 4, 5, or 6. What you do? Here's the best way to do it, because New Year's passed, but you might be able to backtrack and see what they was charging. What you do, you look up Super Bowl, February 2nd. See, I know the date. Look up February 1st, what the hotels are charging. Then go a month past that when there's no holiday or nothing, and see what the hotels normally charge. And then compare and contrast, and you'll see that hotels is charging 4, 5, 6 times the dollar amount, depending on which hotel it is. And also look at the availability. They're overbooked. You feel what I'm saying? Yeah, so the course is, you just email me at brotherpol@ghd45@gmail.com. You leave your full name and your phone number, and we'll make it work. So whether it's the entrepreneur course for $250, whether it's the master course inclusive of learning about real estate tax lien and credit restoration. Yeah, it's about the long term and the short term. The short term is kind of more in the realm of investments, and then long term investments, patient money, requires that of an expenditure. So expenditures is more long term. Expenditure is when you're expecting your returns, but you know it may take a lengthier period of time. You spend this year preparing for the following year. So when the new year comes, you say, yo, this year is going to be my year. It's your year officially from the time the ball drops, because you know, money in the bank. I made my money from the 31st. I made my money from the 30th. If you did nothing else and you invested in hotels right now for the next 2 years, you will win, especially if it's in Las Vegas. I'm giving you the goals. And there's other places, but you know, I say that for people in the course, but it's not the end of the world, because the data that I give in the course is so thorough, so expansive, that is like ridiculous. I have to give something away for free anyway, just so people can be motivated and realize that you will do good. You will do great. But what you got to do is talk to people that are presently succeeding so they can speak to you about experience. It's like, for instance, if I was to tell you about the holistic mathematics course for your health, we're doing that on the 14th of this month. That costs $200. All the other courses are $250. Now I can tell you, you definitely need the seeds, like sunflower seeds. It has the tryptophan in it. Okay, very integral to brain functionality. Okay, and then the walnuts have selenium in it. But let's go to the seeds. I may not want to mix my seeds with my salad, which is what people do, unless I roast them. The reason why I want to roast them or soak them overnight is because the seeds are high in phytic acid. The phytic acid will absorb the vitamins and minerals that you're looking to claim from the foods that you eat. So you don't want to mix your seeds with other foods unless you soak them or you roast them, so you can dissolve or diffuse the potentiality of the phytic acid absorbing the minerals that you need to eat the food for. Otherwise, no sense in eating the food if you can't absorb what it has to offer you. So only experience can tell you that. When you learn stuff, oh man, the seeds got, okay, sunflower seeds have tryptophan. Oh, okay. The pumpkin seeds have, oh, okay. Now I'm going to just mix this in my food. I'm going to eat everything and I get all the ingredients. No, sometimes some foods cancel each other out. Or you have to prepare the food in such a way so it doesn't cancel the other one out. See? So it's just an example. It's just an example. The more you learn, the less you know. If you spend too much time listening to people who really don't give you information you can make applicable in real time. That is what puts you at a handicap. Phytic acid. Yeah. The phytic acid is too domineering. It'll absorb the minerals and deny you of it. So you have to roast it or soak it overnight. So you buy the roasted seeds, right? Roasted pumpkin seeds, right? Or you soak the seeds overnight. If you want to deal with all of that, then eat the seeds by itself and then wait for like 30 minutes to subside. 30, 45 minutes. Wait for that to subside and then you can eat some other food. But don't mix it up with your food if it's not going to be roasted or soaked prior. And if you're going to take apple cider vinegar, make sure it's Bragg's, right? Because that actually has probiotics in there. The whole purpose of taking apple cider vinegar is so you can put healthy bacteria in your body. Probiotics. And if you're going to take probiotics, then you need to get prebiotics, which is to be able to feed the healthy bacteria. So now you got to find the foods that consist of non-digestible fiber or resistant starch. And that's a whole nother conversation I'm not really looking to go into at this particular moment in time. Yeah, vitamin D3 is produced by the sun. Melandella Prince. Massimini. Melandella Prince Massimini. Man, I had to take time with that. You talk fast. Well, at least it's recorded so you can play it back. I apologize because I got to get ready to take my daughter to the gun range. My wife eating something. I don't know what she eating. She eating something. Over here spying on me. You can add the landline to your report through one of my PDFs, which gives you can add positive items to your report. But once that landline is attached as a phone number to your mailing address, and once that landline is the number that you use to verify your email address, and your email address is still attached to your mailing address, they will have your phone number at that point. Trust me. That's just how it is. That's how reporting works. You get an email, you get a mailing address, you get a phone number. Those three things lock you in history. So you got to create a new history simultaneously amongst those three things. So you get a new email first. Then, no, you get a new phone number. Then you get a new email. And you use the verification for that email through the new phone number. Then you get a new mailing address. And you give them the new email. And you give them the new phone number when you set up the new mailing address. In that order. Get the phone. Get the email. Get the mailing address. You get the phone, then when you set the email, you leave that phone number on that email. You get the mailing address. Can we contact you through email or phone number? You give them the email or you give them the phone. You don't hustle backwards because there's no sense in getting the new mailing address and then you turn around, you give them old information that dates you back to previous history. The whole thing is to get you off the grid and create a new grid. You walking with me? Can't make these things up like that now. But it start making sense the second you hear it. Like, do you really got to research the sense that it makes? No, you don't. What is it to research? It's common sense at this point. Oh, shit. You may not have thought about the sequence, but now when you hear it, yeah, get the phone first, then get the email, then get... Yeah, because in that order. You get the phone, nobody's going to ask you for an email. You get the phone, nobody's going to ask you for your mailing address, especially if you get a blowout phone. Wow. Get that phone out the way. Okay? Then you go get that mailing address. Man, why you ain't been say that? I did. You gotta look over the cost, man. But it's okay. You can switch some things up now. But that's why I tell people, take your time with me. Make sure I release all data so you good money. But do it in that order. Yeah, so going back to the title, people. It's easier to be wealthy than it is to be poor, because if 95% of the 327 million people that live in America alone, if only 5% of them actually have wealth, which begins at over $150,000 a year, then that stands to reason that about 16,250,000 people out of 327 million people are not wealthy and most are poor. Because we know poverty begins for a family of four at $32,000 a year, and for an individual at $15,000 a year, leaving a whole $100,000 gray area plus between poverty of 4, poverty of 1, and wealth at 150 grand upwards. That's what that is. So, where do we go from here? What do we do with this? Well, make sure you share this video. What we're saying is it has to be easier to be wealthy, because for one, when you're wealthy, things cost cheaper. So it'd be easier to maintain it. You just have to be extremely ignorant and came off on wealth spontaneously. Peace. So, here's the deal. Here's the deal. This is very interesting, folks. I need to stop. So here's the deal. What you want to do is this. You say to yourself, if most people don't have access to something, it has to be easier to get there and remain. Because technically, poor people have a monopoly on bad decision making when it comes to money. So instead of $150,000 isn't wealth, okay, so let me specify. You have to make $150,000 upward, and you should be able to invest 1/3 of your income. And you should also be following the 50-30-20 principle. 50% of your money obligation, 30% of your money miscellaneous, like going to restaurants and everything, shit that keeps you sane, going to movies. 20% of it being investments and savings. And by savings, it's kind of investments, and also debt. Debt that helps advance you as far as credit in your wealth score quotient. That's how that works. So 50-30-20. So if you have $150,000 and you feel poor, that means your income to expense ratio is disproportionate. That's all that means. But according to Standard & Poor's, the S&P index, you have what you need if you're making $150,000 a year. And if you follow the 50-30-20 principle, you should be able to still be able to invest 1/3 of your income, win, lose, or draw. The other 2/3 should keep you above sea level. The only way that doesn't work is if your income to expenses are disproportionate. So you may have bought things that cost you way more than the $150 that you make. And that's the answer to that. So you don't, oh no, 150 grand, I make that. That doesn't make you wealthy. No, you're in position to amass wealth once you're making 150 upward. See? And that means you should be able to invest $50,000 a year. And whether you make money from it or you don't, the 100 grand that's left should keep you sane, keep you above sea level, at par at the very least, not even below par. See? But that's why you got to take the master course to get into that information. That's why you got to take the entrepreneurship course to get into that information. Real talk. Real talk. Like, for instance, look at taxes. We're going to talk about this another time, too. If you make $1 million, you got to pay $350,000 in taxes. If you're a ball player, you might have to pay $500,000 for every million that you make in taxes. Poor people don't really be worrying too much about taxes, but it catches up with them too. And you say, damn, wealthy people have to spend all that money in taxes. But then there's the other thing. You could buy assets with the intention to be able to cash them out at any given point in time. And that's also your wealth stewardship. So when you see people buying paintings for $1 million, $200,000, $500,000 paintings, if they put the $500,000 in the account, they're gonna owe about $175,000 in all round. They have to pay that to taxes, or depending on how they put it in the account and under what pretense. That's another conversation. Let's just stay focused right now. But if I were to hang up 2 pictures that were worth $500,000 on my wall, and people say in the name of art, this Negro's crazy. You got money and now you really feel like that art is worth $1 million. Well, part of the game is this. When you buy art that costs that much money, you can cash it in. You can always get a check back in exchange for it. So let's say I have $1 million art collection. If I got $1 million art collection, that means it either appraises for more or it's going to be, I can sell it back for that exact amount. So long as nothing crazy happens. Well, let's think about this. If I hung up $1 million on my wall, because sometimes people see paintings in my house and they be like, why you ain't get the Afrocentric, this, that, and the third? Well, if you hang up $1 million on your wall, you guaranteed you could turn that in for $1 million or more. But even if it doesn't appraise for more, the fact that I can get $1 million back, cash or in a check, that's untaxed money. So when you see all those expensive pictures on a person's wall, that's a tax shelter that's on that wall. That's their ability to not have to pay taxes on the painting. But if I took that same $1 million in pictures and put that $1 million in the bank account, I'm going to owe at least $350,000 to the IRS. But if I spend $1 million on pictures that I can turn in and get the money back for at any given time, no tax on it because it's a picture. And the same thing goes with purchasing cars like Rolls Royce for $350,000, $400,000. If you know how to make an intelligent car purchase, you can apply the same science. Nah, stop. I'm gonna go out there. Thanks, babe. Yeah. So mote it be. Yeah, man. So it costs too much money to be poor. And if most people are failing, then success must be easy. You see, if I took this pillow right now. Hold on, I'm bugging. Okay. Matter of fact, let's take this. Let's take this rug. Boom. If this is the 327 million people that populate America, and I say only 5%, boom, right here. I say only 5% of this whole rug is successful. Everybody else on this rug, everybody else represents the people that they don't make enough money to be able to invest with a peace of mind without being scared. And they don't make enough money that even if they made nothing back from all the money they invested for the year, they still be living good. That's this little section out of the whole country. Out of the whole country, you got this little section of people. And it's like this around the world, and even more disproportionate in other places. Boom. Okay? So now that we understand this, how hard can it be to get here if most people are over here? And the disconnect for everybody over here is what? The information. Because from pre-K to 12th grade, 14 years of school, they didn't teach you about security agreements, earnest money deposits, purchase agreements, UCC, Uniform Commercial Code, UCC 13, especially 9, UCC 9-105 in parentheses D. Everybody should know about that. They don't teach you about none of that. They don't teach you about credit card redlining. They don't teach you about Advantage scores, FICO scores, TransUnion, Sparing, Equifax, Wealth Score quotas. They don't teach you about none of that. PCRNs, private credit reporting numbers. They don't teach you about none of that. Shelf corporations. They don't teach you about none of that. So if you consider the fact that only this section in the whole country, if only this section in the whole country is successful, the disconnect is the information or the talent. The talent, you got to damn near be in the lottery. The information, you just got to know. So it's a matter of talent. Hopefully you're one of the lucky winners, because a number of things can go wrong that generally do when you're relying on talent to take you to the next level. But fine. But when it comes to the knowledge is what's keeping most people in this space. The lack of it. So you got 327 million people. You got over 300 million people that make less than $150,000 a year. So you got over 300 million people. 95% of people don't make enough money where they could afford to invest 1/3 of their income at a rate in which it doesn't compromise the integrity of their living. But these people haven't learned about the 50-30-20 principle, the income to expense ratio. They don't know nothing about Standard & Poor's S&P index. They don't know none of these things. They don't know. You walking with me? Because the level of education that they beseech is not the type of information that can help them grow or advance from one day to the next. So you see, the disconnect with being wealthy versus being poor is really the information. And where are you going to go get that information? You have to be self-taught. You have to be autodidactic. You can't afford to sit here and think that school is going to teach you how to be a boss or a master of your own destiny. It's going to teach you how to be employed, not an employer. That's what makes the world go round. The Rockefellers helped create the school curriculums. You think they wanted to teach people how to take their power away from them? Or they're going to teach people how to maintain their own empowerment, how to help you sustain their empowerment? Okay? Real talk. She good?
I took away. Told her she can't play with.
Okay.
Look, see? Cry, baby.
Man, that was a quick cry. You scared me. Hey, you. You scared me. I heard you cry. I ran upstairs. You better now. You smile with daddy. Oh, you scared me. Okay. And then I thought I heard a sound. So I'm like, did she fall or what?
Oh, no.
I was so nervous. Okay. All right, baby. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Yeah, so you go to brother, Polight 45 at gmail.com. Brother, Polight 45 at gmail.com. You leave your full name, your phone number, and you make it clear what service you want rendered. Whether it's the consultation where I teach you $200 an hour, $300 in person, and I forward you some questions, so I can be debriefed on your specific interests and needs, and in doing so, I'm able to make an assessment, and in that evaluation, we're able to optimize your experience, because now what's going to happen is we won't have to cut into your time to ask you things that I would already know. And then I could already do my research or just put a plan together for you to help you get it in. But yeah, man, if you don't hear an echo when you talk in your house, you need to join my course. Real talk. That's real talk. The movie room. Boom. That's when we watch the basketball games. You see, I travel so much. See, this is the thing. People want to buy a house before they have a business. Why the hell do people have houses before they have businesses? I don't get it. You went out your way to finally get approved of a loan for $200,000, $300,000, $400,000 or more just to get a liability? It's because of the ego. You want to be able to say, I got my own. Man, stay on the damn floor and sleep somewhere until your business is prospering, where you can allocate some of your savings into a home where it doesn't compromise the integrity of your mission in this life to live better. Let's be for real. Why are you going out your way to create that kind of expense on yourself? It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. And I mean, Negroes are nuts. Negroes say this is a hotel. Like, God damn. You said, y'all been saying this since last year when I'm recording in here. But it's okay. Because at the end of the day, the information still checks out, as always. And I'm just letting you know. So You know, when everybody says, no, you need to get a house, man. You need to stop renting. Wealthy people are more likely to rent than they are to purchase a damn house. Then they're going to use their mind. That house, they get them homes when businesses is afloat, when the businesses are working. See, you save your money so one day your money can save you. But the definition of saving should be to invest in no risk venues or mediums. Yeah, if you buy a house and it's paid for, why not? But I still will tell you a great strategy is not to buy a house until you can own a business. Don't buy a house until you can own, and don't own a house until you have a business that's successful. Okay? You want to always be able to put at least 22% of the money down on a loan. And you always want to pay more than whatever is expected of you on a month-to-month basis. Okay? You want to make sure that when you do buy a house and you choose to finance or have a mortgage, you do it calculatively because you just want to build your credit. You want to have a profile that's not too slim so you can show, okay, I had that. But you want to know the money's already there. You won't buy that stuff and you can't afford it. It makes no sense. And don't let nobody else fool you. Yeah, you got to get a house. Nah, you just tired of not having nothing in your name, and now you feel big because you got a car in your name and a house in your name. And those are two things that put you into certain debt that most of us never come out of unless we win the lottery or get into some kind of lawsuit money or whatever. And even that, sometimes that's tricky because by the time you deal with the lawsuit money, you got to pay the hospital fees back. You got to pay your lawyer fees back. You got to pay the chiropractor. And then you get paid. So by the time you get your money, you still get a small ass percentage because the money had to be broken up 3-4 times and maybe even more. Okay? Real talk. So yeah, make sure you share the video. It's definitely easier to be wealthy than it is to be poor because all you have to do is stay the course, stay focused, and realize, hey, most people don't know, and they have a monopoly on ignorance. That's most people. Once you go into the realm of knowing, then it's like you're in a realm by yourself, and then you can use what you know to advance you. Then the next thing is, but what is it that you need to know, though? You need to know how to get access to larger lines of money in real time. Stop trying to, sorry to say the word try, but that's what people be doing. Stop nickel and diamond and think you're going to put money under the mattress to the point one day it's going to get you out the situation, and start using insurance and credit opportunities that you can leverage into amassing wealth that can give you the necessary liquid. Real talk. There's plenty of things you could do. I love you people. I got to get ready to bust a move. I got to get ready to bust a move with my daughter. I promised my daughter. We was going to make some moves. So I thank you very much. Can't thank you enough. I can't thank you enough. You guys are the best. You guys are the absolute best. Appreciate you. Just a little downtime before we start traveling again. Can't thank you guys enough. I'm chilling, just in little sweatpants, old hat. I'm about to drive the family and bust some moves. It's really quite simple. Matter of fact. Peace and many blessings. I love you guys. Remember, you hit me at brotherpolight45@gmail.com if you're interested in conscious advisory. If you're interested in the microwave credit restoration process, get your bread and remove those negative items. One shot deal. We knock it out for you inside of a month and a half, where we give everything back plus a rack. Oh, you welcome, sister. So this is the work that you got to put in, man. I mean, we need to just be able to be on that level where we can sit here one day and just be like, God damn. Word up. Need to be able to just be just one day you just be in awe. So while people like, man, 2020 was hard, 2019 was hard, 2020 I'm a level. Man, they gonna say the same damn thing every year. Cause every year you procrastinate on your life. Every year you do the same silly baby showers, birthday parties, Christmas. You do all that, them rituals that cost you money. Thanksgiving. Well, I don't celebrate it, but I hang out with my family. I'm going to travel over there. Or, but I don't want to deprive the children. You're depriving them by not being the best version of yourself economically. Tell them this year it's a dub for all of that. So at least, if nothing else, you will succeed just by not allocating funds into things that are not investments. Drugs, man, if you love your livelihood, the hell if it's good or bad for you, it's the fact that it's not an investment. Leave it alone. Coffee, leave it alone. Newspaper every day, you don't need to see no information unless it's powerful content. That's why I tell y'all to purchase a Barron's newspaper or a Kiplinger's newspaper. Don't play games. You ain't doing nothing until you start getting textbooks because of the type of credit cards you've been approved of. Okay? Let's not be silly now. And every time you make or have a milestone in your life, every time there's a milestone, you leave that around your home. You put it in place just to remind you what it took to have you level up. That's what you do. Real talk. So you always leave your full name, your phone number, email address. Of course, your email address is there if you email me, so don't do that. Sometimes people do that, and it's because of me. I'll be saying that. Leave your full name, your phone number, and always leave what service in particular you want. And you get it in. But like I said, this year, I'm taking off. I got other stuff I'm interested in. I got some very powerful things I'm dealing with. I actually am embarking upon the acquisition of some farmland that has a straight source. It is the source where all the other artesian alkaline waters come from. Okay, I'm working on that part and the agreement and everything. I can't wait to say, yes, this is it right here. It's been tested already. Okay, it's been tested already. The lab reports are already in. I just gotta handle some stuff. It's powerful. I'm very excited about that. Couple things are going on. Couple things. Make sure you share the video. And this is why I said people talk wild or reckless or, you gotta understand, when you get to this level, you got people that come out like these video vixens that just want to say, yo, I was in a relationship with him before and this is what he do. But it be guys doing that. But yo, their situation is trash. I know that because I don't got time. I don't even mention these people's name. People be like, yo, such and such starting to say this, that, and the third. I'm like, yeah, I'm not surprised. This is what broke people do when they're on their last string, they campaign, and other people watch it, and I'm like, yo, both y'all crazy. Because this person talking about somebody else, and that person is not talking about themselves. And the combination of those two things had me thinking, that, like, what are they actually talking about then? I don't want nothing to do with that. Because then now I got to be accountable for what I did for my day. My wife said, what you did today? I watched another man talk about another man. I was one of many people that was watching this man talk about another man. And what did you learn? A bunch of things that's still speculation. Now, how would it pay for our lifestyle? Well, actually, it won't, if we be honest. Then I got no business dealing with that. It's so simple. I got no business dealing with that information. Real talk. So I appreciate y'all, man. Let's make it happen. Let's enjoy ourselves. Take it to the next level. I got a new platform that we're going to be using to upload all the information that we've been using for these courses, so you can just go out there and nosedive into it. And furthermore, I got the PDFs that's coming to you this evening. Just wanted to give you an idea, some insight of what's going to go on. Peace and many blessings. I love you all. Peace. It's time to drive a $400,000 car. Life sucks. Let me stop. Peace and many blessings.